All right, man. We are recording once again. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Fenton. How are you on this beautiful day?
I'm amazing. Still black. Woke up. Still black.
Yeah, still there, still there. Black and beautiful, black and
Black and
beautiful.
beautiful, baby. Welcome everyone to Products of Circumstance podcast. This is the new podcast with Ken Skeen and myself, Fenton Joseph. We discuss mental health and mindset matters through the lens of Black men. We cover topics like family and relationship trauma, relationships with money, self-worth, positive thinking, gratefulness, and so much more. This show is unscripted, unfiltered, and mostly unedited. We choose our topics at random. Only Ken knows what we're going to talk about today, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But before we do, please like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell, ding, so that you'll know when we're, as soon as we upload a new episode every week on Mondays. All right, my friend, let's get into it. What are we talking about today?
All right, so today we are talking about self-reflection.
I instantly started to go into that song, self-destruction. If for self-destruction. So, wait, that's not it. Self-reflection.
Self-reflection.
It should be a remix. Self-reflection. You need some self-reflection.
You've been watching Disney movies again, haven't you?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It's all right, though. Those are made for adults. And they say they're made for kids. They're made for adults.
I've also been watching like a different world clips.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it's great stuff.
It is great stuff. All right, self-reflection. So I actually looked up the definition because the last episode, you're like, what's the definition?
We never have definitions.
Never have definitions. So I'm trying this one out. So self-reflection, right? So meditation or serious thought about one's character, actions, and motives. That's the definition of self-reflection. The reason I chose this topic is, again, I get a lot of my topics from people I speak with at work and just having different conversations with them. And one of the young salespeople that I had a discussion with it was this past Wednesday, actually. And he was talking to me, and I looked over to his desk, and, he wasn't making phone calls, wasn't doing his emails. So I just asked him, like, listen, what's going on? You got to, let's get this done so that by the end of the night, I can sign off your sheet. We can get out of here on time, whatever. He's like, yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. Like a nonchalant. I'm like, bro, listen, I know I'm a chilled out manager, but you can't talk like that. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are we doing here?
Hold up.
And it wasn't, all right, look, I didn't take it in a malice way. I didn't take it as if he was speaking to me like that. He does have a lot of respect for me. It was more like he just was down. And there are some things going on in his life right now that I understand why he's down, which I'm not going to share with the audience because it's his business. But he's a little down right now. So I said, come over here. Come over for a sec. Let's talk for a sec. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on with you? And he tells me that, well, I just feel like, I'm not good at what I do here. I said, he's been in the business 4 years. I asked him what he did before this. He was in sales, another aspect of sales, for about 3 or 4 years. And then I'm like, what'd you do before that? He was in another aspect of sales for about 3 years. So I'm like, so you've been doing sales now for about 11 years, right?
That's a good while.
So if you don't enjoy sales, why do you keep, gravitating towards it? And his answer was, that's the only thing I think I know how to do, but I don't enjoy it. So I said, maybe you need to self-reflect and decide for yourself, because you're still young. Guy's in his mid-20s, early to mid-20s.
Okay.
Has a young child. I think his son is probably like two or 3 years old. And I'm like, bro, you're coming to work every day for your family, for your son. But if you don't enjoy what you do and you don't feel like, it's taking you somewhere, either you need to change your attitude or you need to figure out what you want to do to bring happiness to you, because this isn't going to work. And the comments he made about himself just kind of like, I was like, wow. He's like, well, I don't think I'm worthy. I don't think I'm, I know I'm going to fail when I try something new. I've tried 5 or 6. He named different things he's tried. he's like, I've tried this, I've tried that. I used to be good at basketball. I used to be good at this. And then I just realized, I wasn't good enough. And then I tried this for like a month or two. Then I realized I wasn't good enough. And I knew in my head I wouldn't be able to succeed at it. So I stopped. And he's done this multiple times in his life. And it just it made me sad. I'm not going to lie. It made me sad that someone's speaking to. I said, bro, listen, the world, and I've said this in previous episodes and you have as well. The world's going to beat you down. Don't do it to yourself. Right. The world will literally kick you to the floor, kick you in your stomach, and then hit you in the face with a water balloon. You know what I'm saying?
Like, put you in a half that. Nelson.
You know what I'm saying? So why don't do it to yourself? I had to talk to him, bro. Don't talk about yourself like that. And then what came into my head was a previous episode about manifestation and how you speak about yourself. Mm-hmm. But then, that coincides with self-reflection as well. And that's why I chose the topic for today, because it's crazy. You talk to not just older people, but a lot of these young people out there, they really do look in the mirror and tell themselves they're not worthy and they're worthless and, I'm never going to be any good. And you need to just sit down for a sec, meditate, and look at yourself and say, I am worth this. I am worthy. I'm worth this position. I'm worth this life. I'm worth this, whatever it may be in your life. Mm-hmm. And just really talk positive. And again, self-reflection is a big deal. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the younger generations don't do enough of it. But what are your thoughts on that, though, Fenton?
First of all, I'm not wearing my green hat. And I think I should address that for the audience. I left it in the other room, and I didn't want to be running behind. So it'll make an appearance next week. Self-reflection is really, really important. I find that a lot of the work that I've done in my life, figuring out who I am, understanding my emotions, my thoughts, and all these things, it came with a lot of effort. It came from me sitting down in silence and really thinking about the many different aspects of who I am, the many different facets of who Fenton is and what constitutes me. And as I started to explore those things, because it happens over time and in small pieces, right? You're not going to figure out all these different things about yourself in one afternoon, right? It's a practice. It's something that you have to practice and you get better at it. I found it to be really enjoyable. I'm always curious to know why I have the thoughts that I have, what's driving them, how best to manage those thoughts, whether it's saying, hey, these need to go in the trash and be replaced by something else, or these thoughts are maybe uncomfortable but helpful. If I can examine them a bit and understand them better, maybe there's something I can draw from it that's actionable. It's actually one of my favorite things to do is to just be alone with my thoughts, and get to know myself better. And as I get to know myself better through self-reflection, I found it easier and I'm more well-equipped to interface with the rest of the world and understand other people, because I can look at you, my friend, and say, okay, well, there's things about me that I see in you and I can understand. Or maybe there's things in you that I don't see in me that I don't understand, that I can inquire about with intentionality, because I'm looking to understand and to empathize, never to criticize or tear down because someone else is different, right? Like self-reflection it's kind of like, to me, like the basic building block, the basic kind of tool that we have to really interface with the rest of the world better. So, for somebody like him, I would encourage him to understand, try to examine and understand, like, where are those thoughts coming from? Why don't I think I'm worthy? Why do I feel like I keep on failing? Why don't I find joy in the things that I'm doing? My child is right behind the door. So the family's home today. Is what it is. Welcome to Corona living, Corona life.
It's all gravy, baby. It's all gravy.
Established 2020. Yeah, that's my thought. I'm really into it. I can't encourage it enough that people just take a moment and think about, like, dude, why do you think that about yourself? Mm-hmm. Also, and I'll say this, I love the fact that you said change your attitude is also an option. Now, that overlaps with self-reflection. And I don't know if I'm I'm prepared right this second to kind of explain how and why they overlap. But changing your attitude can be kind of like a fake it till you make it approach. If you haven't done the self-reflection to understand why you're feeling the way that you are and experiencing the world the way that you do, there are things that you can do also to just flip your attitude, and change it so that you have a more positive approach to things. And I really think it's as simple as just being intentional. Like, if you feel yourself saying like, oh man, I'm at work again, this sucks, I don't feel like making these calls, I don't want to send these emails, I don't want to have this meeting, start saying, I can't wait to make this call, hit these numbers. This is going to be the best email I've ever written. I am Shakespeare. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. This meeting, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to crush it. And you're saying these things to yourself. We've talked about this in past episodes. The words that you speak, they actually really do matter. They really can change things. And just by saying something different, that self-talk will absolutely begin to manifest. So those are my thoughts, man.
Yeah, it's, again, a lot of things do overlap. But it's a fact though. You really you really need to just, as a person, even like you just said, like that's what I do. If there's something I don't want to do, what they say the expression is eat the frog. So eat the frog first thing in the morning, right? No one wants to eat the frog. You never heard that expression? It's called eat the frog. So it's something that you don't want to, like, someone doesn't want to exercise, right? They hate exercising. So the first thing you should do when you wake up is get a 15-minute exercise in. All right, you're in, let's say you're in the business world, right? And you hate putting out your TPS reports, if anyone gets that joke. So you hate doing your TPS reports. Anyway, so that should be the first thing you do for the day. Right. Get your reports out, get your emails out. You hate writing emails. That should be the first thing you do as soon as you sit down at your desk, get all your emails done. And there you go. You just ate your frog. So everything else for the rest of the day will be easier. Because you're starting with the thing you hate the most, or I hate the word hate, dislike, or you don't think you're good at it as good. It's a challenging task. Yeah. Get that done first. Eat the frog. The rest of the day should go easier. But I mean, if every single thing you're telling yourself is, well, I don't want to do it because, all right, if you keep telling your brain that, you're going to continue to hate. So like what you just said, fake it till you make it. Tell yourself something different. I'm going to write this fabulous email. I'm going to make, these 30 phone calls, and these customers are going to love who I am as a person on the phone, and they're going to want to buy whatever product I'm selling them. Speak more positive. But if you don't do that, I mean, I do this on a daily basis. It's not everything about my career that I love.
Really?
But
you don't love,
you know what I'm saying?
Even
even this side stuff with Skeen Concepts Woodworks. When I have to build a project for someone, I enjoy being in my workshop. That's like my zen, little Bob Marley. I'm good to go. Right. Give me some ice water and some Bob Marley with some power tools. But there's some projects I don't want to build. Right. But they're monetary. Right. So I do them. But again, that's my own, let's get this done. I'm going to enjoy this bill, using 6 different grits of sandpaper. This is going to be amazing.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, you got to, like you said, just talk the positive into the air and keep a right mind frame until you can find something you love, or maybe it turns into something you love.
I think thanks for being transparent and honest and real and saying I don't love everything about what I do. I think some people just need to hear that. It's like, I have this amazing job and I love everything and I just go to work every day and I'm just like bouncing into the office. Like, as a matter of fact, I, Fenton, would always go into the office bouncing. Always. I am a morning person. I am a high energy person in the morning. I like to get up and I'm rip roaring and I'm off to the races, man. And I come into the office and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. But then as soon as the work actually hit, then I didn't want to do the work because I self-reflected and I knew I didn't like it and it wasn't for me. Okay, and we're back. I was talking about how I really enjoy going into the office in the morning, or I used to enjoy going into the office in the morning, and I had a lot of energy. And my coworkers are like, dude, what's in your smoothie? Why are you so energetic in the morning? I was like, that's just the way that I am. But my attitude about the work, that was a different story. I bring a lot of energy everywhere that I go, but if I'm not into the thing that I'm doing, then things start to slag off. And it for me, it was different. It was never like you would never catch me being down and out and being like, I'm just on Instagram. I don't feel like working. Like I I'm always I always have the energy, and I always seem on the outside like I'm into something, but I may not be into it on the inside. And you're not. I couldn't talk about myself that way if I didn't do the self-reflection to figure that out. I had to figure that out because going back like years, there were instances where on the outside, it seemed like, yeah, Fenton had it all together. And then I would drop the ball, in terms of performance. And it'd be like, all right, well, why is that happening? And I had to do that self-reflection and figure out, like the reality, like this isn't actually what I want to be doing, with my time, with my life. And can we just address something for a second? Maybe it's a younger, person thing, like a younger generation. If you're in your 20s or your 30s or whatever, we're in our 40s. So we got some things figured out. Like where you are in your job is not your life. Okay. It's like, oh, my life isn't going the way that I want it to go. Like it's a job. Okay. It's one job out of many that you're going to have over the course of your life, especially if you're a younger person, like in your 20s and 30s. These kids, they have a job for a year. They go to this next place. They're there for 9 months. So like you should see people's LinkedIns, right? Like I thought I had a lot of jobs in my lifetime. These kids are racking up jobs left and right. That's not your life. That's your employer. They cut you a check. And once that relationship is over, you move on. Stop saying my life isn't going the way that I want it to. Let's just stop with that. The reality is that wherever you go, whoever is employing you, even if it's yourself, you're going to continue to show up the same way with the same attitude until you begin to self-reflect and figure out what's going on with you. It is probably not the environment. And I understand there are some times where it is the environment. You may have a team, a boss that's just like, they're just jerks and it is what it is. There could be a toxic culture, in your workplace and it's just a bad place to be. I'm not saying that isn't real. But if you've tried 5, 6, 7 different things and you keep failing at each of them, or you don't like trying new things, whatever the case is, like that probably has a lot more to do with you than it does with your environment. So you begin the process of self-reflection and you begin to take each of those thoughts captive. It's like, hey, thought, get over here. Right?
You just triggered a few people, right?
Yeah. Yes. Part of the people were triggered because of my miming. The other half was triggered because they know they have thoughts out there that are flying around that they never took the time to, like, you acknowledge the thought. I love how I keep looking up at the sky. You're acknowledging the thoughts and you're saying, I see you, thought, and you're impacting me, thought, but you never took that thought captive and said, hey, come here for a second. Let me talk to you. Why are you bothering me? It's like if somebody were standing outside your home throwing little stones at your window.
That wouldn't be smart.
Right? And you can't sleep. You can't sleep. It's nighttime. You can't sleep. It's bothering you. You got no peace because these little stones being thrown against your window. And you're irritated and you're frustrated and you feel helpless. Did you ever turn the lights on outside and open your door and walk out and say, hey, let me talk to you for a second. I'm going to need you to stop throwing these stones at my window. Or why are you throwing these stones at my window? And where are your parents?
What? Whoa.
We have these thoughts. They keep us up at night. We're irritated during the day. We're frustrated. We never took the time to be like, where do these stupid thoughts even come from? And why are they here? It's your mind. It's your brain. You're in control. Mm-hmm. Take over. Put your foot down. Show your thoughts who's boss, or do your thoughts control you?
Ooh.
Right? I was laying up in bed last night, and my thoughts, they were pacing. My mind was not silent, and I started doing a chant in my head. It's peace, peace, like peace, peace. I was forcing my mind to focus on something other than the thoughts that were racing around. I said, I'm not sure if I can stop the thoughts from racing, but I can focus on a different thought. And it may sound silly to you or whatever, you know, like, I don't know what people do if they do you know, like whatever. Find something to focus on so that you can start to bring some more peace to your mind. And as I felt like as I was laying in bed, it was like 1:30 at night. As I started to focus more on peace intentionally, there were a couple straggler thoughts. And instead of whizzing around, I was like, oh, wait. What? That stop. Remember Minority Report where
yes.
I'm all over the place. Minority Report where they could do the thing where he'd go through the different you know, visions and stuff or memories.
Right.
And then he'd be like, oh wait, stop. Right? It's like that's what I was doing with my thoughts. I was like, wait a second. Let's examine this thing. Where is this coming from? Oh no, that's crap. Boop, get rid of it. And eventually I was able to go to sleep and I had a lot more peace last night. I think if I didn't take a moment to stop and just meditate a little bit and just focus on having a peaceful mind, I think I would have been up a lot longer. My point in saying that, for anyone who's lost, and I wouldn't be mad if you were, is that you have control of your mind. You know, it's not this messed up situation where you are subject to abuse by your own thoughts. You're not, unless you give them that power. And that's a conscious decision, because when you let somebody abuse you, like that is also a decision. And I'm sorry to say that. They may trigger some people. But it is a conscious decision, right? Like you can be there or you could not be there. You could stand up for yourself, or you could not stand up for yourself. I'm not saying you might not get beat up, shot, maimed, whatever. Like, you know, it's a confrontation, right? Like confrontations are not known to be like peaceful things. That's why it's called a confrontation. You need to confront these thoughts. You need to confront these feelings. You need to confront yourself through self-reflection. Say, what is going on in there? You may not like what you see. You may not enjoy it. Remember we talked about, and I'm gonna shut up after this. Remember we talked about difficult conversations?
Yes,
my toilet analogy.
Yes, I do remember that.
By show of hands, who remembers Fenton's toilet analogy, his poop analogy? You can't like not go to the bathroom. You can't keep that stuff inside of you. That's not healthy. It's got to be toxic. I wouldn't know. I use the bathroom all the time, very regular. People don't like having uncomfortable conversations. And some of the most uncomfortable conversations that we can have are actually with ourselves. We don't want to confront what's going on inside of us because it's self-talk. That means it's a conversation. It's talking. We're talking to us. And you can't even, you're telling me you won't even stand up to you? You're gonna let yourself bully yourself? We're gonna make a clip out of this one because you're gonna bully yourself. You're not even strong enough, man enough, woman enough to stop bullying yourself. Stand up to yourself and say, hey, thoughts, chill. Let's have a conversation. All right? Because like we said, your thoughts become your actions and your actions become your life. So you need to take those thoughts under control. Wow.
No, you know what though? I love the path that you went on. I know you swerve sometimes, but you always bring it back. But again, it goes back to we've said it in different episodes as well. Even if you're not a writer, I don't like writing a lot, but once in a while you got to jot things down. So like Fenton was just saying, if you're having these thoughts and you're battling your own self, why don't you get it down on paper for a second? You know, there's like this thing people do sometimes where they'll write something down, like if they lost a loved one or they have this idea in their head, or they want to forget something or just get rid of it. They write it on a piece of paper and then you burn the paper, and that's supposed to be like a metaphor of releasing a thought, try it.
That's cool.
Try meditation. We're not saying go and do hours of it. Try a 5 minutes of meditation of just silence for a sec. And if you're somewhere where there is no silence, you can leave and go to a library. Library cards are free. Go into get some silence, like silence your brain for a second and really talk to yourself. It's okay to talk to yourself, by the way. I know some people are just sitting there like, what do you mean? I'm talking to myself. I'm not crazy. Yeah, but you're driving yourself crazy by not talking to yourself. So try it out. You're gonna have to try something new though. And if you're not self-reflecting, forget it even on a daily, but just even a weekly basis, you may not grow as a person. Like Fenton was saying, I mean, I'm taking some of the clips. How are you supposed to grow as a person if you're not going to self-reflect and become the better person than you were yesterday? I mean, I think that should be everyone's goal in life: be a better person than you were yesterday. Whether you're better at your career, better as a parent, as a student, as whatever it may be, whatever it is in your daily tasks, try to be a better person. But how can you do that without going through self-reflection? So I think people need to really just wrap their head around, again, if this is triggering you right now, maybe you should take a look in the mirror real quick and say, well, why is this triggering me? Is this maybe something I do or don't do? And like I said earlier, don't beat yourself up. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to know where you are in life right now. You have people that are like Walmart, the Walmart family. You know, he started later on in life. KFC started later on in life. Oprah. I can keep on going. There's so many people that we look up to, other than our own family, that we consider, you know, famous or celebrities, whatever they may be, or successful, that had to reflect on their own processes and their own thoughts and their own failures and their own successes. But you're going to have to do that because no one's going to do it for you. Trust me, people want to see you fail. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but people do want to see you fail so they can make themselves feel better. So unless you yourself